back to JD's Garage. My name's Joe. Today I'm going to be working on getting this rear suspension to work out. Previously, shock went here, okay, and connected here, alright, but we have since widened this swing arm. So when you hook it right here where it goes, you can see the gap. We've got to make something to connect it back to the bike. And so what I've come up with is I've got some solid tubing. I've come up a little bit higher. That white mark there, it's centered, and it's going to go there and give us the piece we need to come out. I've still got to measure that and determine what it is. But with that connected there, what I'm going to do is drill and tap the center, okay? And then on this side, we're going to come through with a bolt, and that's what this is here, how they had them before, okay? So we'll come through with it. It's going to screw into this rod end right here, and then we'll come back and weld it here and here, okay? Then on the other side of this rod, once I get a piece and cut it, the shock will go on it like this here, okay? And we will use one of these bolts to come through the shock, thread it in, okay? And you can see here I've got pieces from my tap and die set out. I bought some washers, the nylon inserted lock nuts, okay? This is all to get this suspension plugged together. I'm going to get set up here, and we are going to start with this Christmas tree bit I have on my drill, okay? And I've made a mark there when I hit it to stop, to get a hole big enough to go through there. So I'll get set up and we will get going on this. Let's get another bit to get through here, a smaller one. This Christmas tree bit is supposed to do that for us, but let's go ahead and get a through hole, and then maybe this thing will work so I don't burn it right out. I actually have the garage door to push against to help me. Make sure I'm straight as can be. Now let's see if we can get the Christmas tree bit to step like it's supposed to. What I get for getting this at Harbor Freight, I guess. It's not wanting to work the way we want it to. So I'm going to have to manually change my bits and step it up where it needs to be. Let me go find the ones I need. Next size up. Okay. I need one more size up, but I got that here. We're close. We are close. I'm going to get one more size up. Next size up of drill bit. Really close. Alright, I'm going to go up 1 or 2 sizes in bit. I'll compare it next to the bolt head here. Tough metal, but that's going to be good. Here we go. So I'm going to bring these, see the button head on it, it's like what they have here, through the back, and then for that square part I'll just have to press it in with a clamp possibly, or tap it, and that's just going to kind of hold it in place. And you can see here, but this is how they're going to go, and it's going to stick through on this side. And once we get the length and piece we need here, we will drill and tap it so that bolt will screw into it like this, okay? And once we get that, we get it tacked in place on the back side, we'll unscrew it and do the other end drill and tap, so the bolt will go through this and into this pipe to tighten them down. Got these bolts through here now. I had to make this back hole only just a little bigger, and I was able to tap them in. They'll get pulled in just a little more. You can see a little bit of a gap there. When we get this rod tapped and threaded, and we'll turn it on here, and it will pull those bolts in. We'll be sure to go a little deeper than we have to on these with the female threads, for these male threads, and get that lined up. So at this point we've got to try and see how much depth we need with these out here. So I've got to see, they're going to go on here, and we'll lift it up where it needs to be and try to determine how long of a piece we need right there from the bolt to the shock to keep it as straight up and down as it can. Got this mocked up, set up. I used a couple bungee cords to lift this swing arm just a hair. We're not quite at our height, but it's okay. We can get our measurement now of how long of a piece of rod we need. Okay, and looking at that, I believe, and let's see, actually this is going to butt here. It threads on there and butts here, so we're actually going to need to go, let's go 2 3/8. That'll allow us the little bit of gap back here to pull in. Alright, and this thing's going to be pretty straight here. So let me get the rod, get it marked. We'll get down on the chop saw and get those 2 pieces cut out. I did check the other side previously, and of course it's the same as this. I made sure to have the widened swing arm centered properly, so both of these will be straight up and down. Got my marks at 2 3/8. I'll cut the first one off, measure it, and it'll make sure it's 2 3/8, and it should be. And we'll re-measure this one just in case, because sometimes when you cut, you can come over a little bit on what you need right here. So get it in this chop saw and get going. Pieces. I'm going to get them over here on the bench grinder and clean them up, and then we'll find the center on them and go ahead and drill and tap them. Get these cleaned up and make sure they're flat and the right measurement. Got everything set up here on the drill press. Got the vise to hold my piece. Got it clamped down where I want it. I actually have a tool that gives me an X to find center. And this is the stopper to let me know I've gone deep enough. So I'm going to get this thing going. We're going to keep the same setup. The bit isn't big enough, but it's what I got to start with. And I'm going to do this side, flip it over, mark my center, get it, and go ahead and do the other piece. And then at that time I'll get a bigger bit and reset the stopper on it, and to get it up to where we need to actually use a tap on it. Anytime you're drilling in steel like this, you want to use machining oil and just go a little at a time. Can't get in a hurry. And it really helps drill the hole without your bit breaking and things getting too hot. pretty close there. So I'm going to get my bigger bit. We'll go ahead and try the one we need for it to be the size it needs to tap, and we'll go from there. Here we are with the bigger bit. Same distance right here. We're going a little bit bigger. It might not should, but it's going to be a little time consuming, this bigger bit, but we're just going to slowly oil it, keep bringing it down till we hit the spacer on both of these pieces. I'll record one and then probably get the next three, and then we'll move on to tapping the threads. There we have it. I'm going to get them all this way and then we'll see where we're at. If we have to go a little bigger first, or if I can get the tap started in these and get the threads going. So you notice I have these marked here. The B is the bike side, the S is the shock side, and this one's going to go on the left. It's been in a hair and is about not even an 1/8 inch longer, maybe a 1/16. So I got the bigger hole drilled on this side, on the bike side, with the depth right, and then I thought, oh yeah, I need to check my bolt length on the shock side, like this, and I measured it, and I need to go deeper on this side, about 1 inch, okay? So I got the new bit set up here and adjusted the stop on it, so we'll be able to get this other side good. Operation: drill a hole for the shock side. So I went on and finished one piece and threaded where I drilled out on both sides so I could spin this dude on this bolt right back there that I ran through, and then this bolt goes in there, but it goes through the shock, and this turned out really well. I'm going to go back and weld it right here and right there, okay? And I've still got to do this other side. I wanted to show you right quick. These threads were very messed up. They basically weren't there, and they were a size up. So what I did was I took a die that is a 10 mil 1.5 thread pitch, and so it went down a size and got me some threads on here again for these bottom two sides. So now I'm going to go back over here. There's my die that I used, and I'm actually manually tapping these with this, okay? And it takes a little patience and time because this tap will break off in there, and then we lose out on the piece and a tap, which I don't think I have another one, so I've got to take it real easy. So I'm going to get set up with this next piece here that's already drilled out the way I want it. This side's a little deeper, this one's more shallow, okay? The little more shallow end is going to go on the side of the frame, and then the deeper end is the bolt that comes through the shock and will go in deeper. Okay, so get set up here and start tapping the threads in that piece. Going to start with the shallower side first. What I did on the last one was just positioned it in my vise here, kind of like that, clamped it down real good. I'm going to go ahead and get some oil around here and down in it. And so it's real important to start the first turn as straight as you can tell, okay? Because you'll get down in there and it'll bind up if you're not going straight in, okay? So that right there is looking pretty good. So I'm going to turn it, try to keep it straight and get in there. It's starting to go. Okay, now it's getting real tight. When it does that, you have to back up and then give it a little more. There, it's starting to go in good now. We're staying semi-straight. It should be okay. So let's go ahead and keep going as long as it'll go. That oil really helps. See, it's trying to turn in there, so I'm going to bite some more. Alright, it's getting a little snug, so I'm going to back up. Alright. I'm going to put a little more oil in here. It has these channels on the tap to catch the material that we're cutting off. These are the kind you want. Otherwise, you really bind up the taps and snap them. So we'll go back down. Getting a little snug, I'm going to back up. Here we go again. The piece we were working on, I finally got it tapped on both sides. Luckily didn't break the only tap I have. But I'm going to go ahead and get some backup taps because it happens a lot. So this whole piece turned on the stud, this carriage bolt right here. You know, they have a square head underneath there. I'll drill the hole a little too small and press that dude in so that bites it down where I can turn this with my pipe wrench and get it tied on here. And now I've got this left side shock coming up from the control arm here and spinning this dude in. See how good it works? So I'm going to get these snugged up, alright, and we have got to weld right around in here. I'm going to have to clean that up a little bit. But first it'll be tacks. I'm going to do the same on the button head of the carriage bolt here on both sides. And then once I have them tacked in place with all this tightened up, probably have to take each shock back off so I can get in here better to weld. Take a look-see here. That's why we did the wide swing arm, okay? We wanted a big wide tire on it. This is a new tire. I previously had that one. May have showed it with that, but this is my square knobby tire for off-road, and I've kind of got it just mocked up here so you can really get a idea of what's going on with this bike, how it's going to look. So the control arm will actually be up a little bit higher, and then when you sit down on the bike and push it down, the control arm comes up more. But we'll have enough clearance here, and I mean, this dude is just fat. Just like this one right here. Okay. So let me get my welder set up and we'll get some tacks on both sides. Here we are. Okay, so I got 3 tacks around each side, here, in there, there, and over here. I'm going to go ahead and get these welded up, and on the next video you'll see them done, and we're going to get these bushings out, put new ones in, get our spacing right here. Then we're going to take the new tire, which I've moved now, get its axle, this tire right here. Okay, I got the parts, I got the wheel, so we'll get it mounted. We'll get the sprocket on the side, the caliper, that's the axle there, and that's the brake caliper bracket. So we have a lot of configuring to do with that, and that's kind of the route we're going to go here. So I appreciate you watching, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it.